We've looked at the most common Moodle resources. Now we're going to take a look at the common Moodle activities. So I'm going to go ahead and name this new section Moodle Activities. And this is what Moodle is great for. It's the things that we can have students interact with, the way we can use it as a grade book, and it has tons of activities that you can do with students. The most common activity is the Moodle assignment. So if I go to activities, all these activities are eventually available to everyone. The assignment is what we think of as a normal teacher. You can have basically three kinds of assignments in Moodle. You can have a normal one that they turn in as paper. You could have one that they turn in a project and upload it, and they can upload up to 20 files for a project if you had a huge project. And you could have them submit online text as well. So since our Moodle resources that we're looking at were on how to remove the background of an image, I'm going to have an assignment on removing the background of an image. So remove. I've got a picture of minions that I'm going to have them remove the background out. So the assignment name is what's going to show up in the gradebook and for them to link on. The description is what they're going to see. So I'm going to type an assignment description in here. Okay, I've got the verbiage in there for my assignment, and I found a YouTube video that goes over it as well that I think was pretty good. So I'm going to post that in there as well. So I've got the assignment, the verbiage. I got a YouTube video helping them out. I'm going to come down here, and in the additional files, I'm going to drop the picture they're going to be editing. So they're going to be using this minion picture here that I'm going to drop right there for them. Now, assignments have due dates. So by default, it's going to always say 1 week from today. You can click on the calendar and say, you know what, that's due next class. So it's going to be there. I can be more specific and say, you know what, it's before you get to school. It's got to be submitted to not be late by 7:30 a.m. because I don't want you doing during your intervention time. Now, they can always submit it late by default, but it'll tell you how late they are. There's other availability things. Now, this will make it show up in your calendar and their calendar so they know that it's due. But there's some more availability things I can see by hitting show more. These are the non-standard ones. The first one says allow submissions from. They can't even start it till tomorrow. I could say don't allow the students to make a submission until tomorrow, so it won't open to allow them to do it until then. You have that option. You can also set a cutoff date, so you can say they can't even submit it after that particular date. You can also set a date to have Moodle email you and remind you to do the grading. It's due on the 20th, so remind me on the 23rd. I'm going to give the kids a couple extra days, but by that Monday, I want to be reminded that it's due, and it will send me an email to tell me to grade it. Okay, so that's availability. The next thing is submission types. You can have online text, which means you're going to type something in, which doesn't fit with this assignment. But if you were doing something where you just wanted them to respond to something, or you wanted to have them to write a paper in class, or if they were doing the assignment in Google, I have them submit the shareable link there. So I have a link I can just click on to grade their assignment. It doesn't fit this one. So I'm going to uncheck that one. It does fit, they're going to do file submission, but I don't need 20 files. I only need one. And the last thing in this, well, not the last, you can say how big of a file they can upload. You can set it as small or up to the course limit. And you can say what kind of file. I already said it has to be a PNG file, so I can hit choose, and I can go down here and say image files. I can expand that, and I can say the only thing I'm going to take is a PNG file. It's kind of specific for this assignment, but however, if you were like, you know what, I only want it to be a PowerPoint, I only want it to be, you can see down here, if you were doing a PowerPoint, you could say it has to be a presentation file and it has to be a PowerPoint. I can say somewhere on here, a PPT, there we go, PowerPoint 2007, PowerPoint presentation, PowerPoint 2000 PP, that's or later. I don't know why it says 2007. That's actually the common one now. But anyway, if I say hit save changes, it now says PNG in there. I also am going to say how I'm going to grade it. It defaults to points. I'm going to say this is worth 10 points in my grade book, and I'm going to put it in quarter 2 because that's where we're at this point. I'm going to save and return to course, and now I've got this activity. That's what a assignment looks like. If I hover over it, it says it's an assignment. It says when it's due, which is new on Moodle, that it says the due date right on the assignment. If the students click on it, they see what the explanation is, they see a YouTube video, they see the Minions file, and if they were in student view, they wouldn't see this, but they'd see that they have this location to click on to add their submission. That is the most common activity that people have in Moodle. It's the assignment. It kind of follows along with traditional teaching. So that is the Moodle assignment.